Terminator Resistance. Is it worth a buy? Let's read the words of the developers, the same ones that made Rambo, that fucking awful game that I absolutely wrecked. Terminator Resistance is a first-person shooter set during the future war scenario that was only glimpsed at in the iconic films The Terminator and Terminator 2 Judgment Day. The machines are destined to lose, but at what cost? Yes guys, it's a Terminator game. We haven't had one of them for a hell of a long time, and the last ones weren't exactly great. And this one's kind of just snuck up on me. I didn't even know it was coming out until a few days before it came out, and I was so busy doing the other stuff that I didn't have time to review it. And I have taken a couple of days just to kind of chill out because I've been, so damn busy with all the reviews. So I am a bit late on this one. Let's start with the graphics. It looks alright, it's nothing to write home about. You get a few graphical options, but it does the job. You can kind of limit the frame rate a bit if you need to, but it runs fine for me. I didn't have any real problems and it looks pretty much okay. Now the sound and music of this game are a completely different ball game. In fact, the sound and music in this game pretty much puts to shame most other games that's been released this year. The sound in this game is off the freaking scale, guys. The sound effects in the game are just sublime as well. They are straight out of the movie, especially when you're firing the plasma rifle. I mean, it makes your lips stick out. You stick your lips out. It's one of them games. There's not many of them games around. But this qualifies. It turns you into Mick Jagger when you play. Whenever you have to open up with the plasma rifle, well, the minigun version of it, you turn with this gun, you're just like turning and you see a Terminator coming at you, you just pull that trigger and stick your lips out like Mick. It's just freaking awesome, guys. The noise is straight out of the movies and it's a noise that never gets old. It just is awesome. The story on this, well, it's set before the first two Terminator movies, which are the only two Terminator movies worth watching, to be fair. It's set before them, and the whole premise, I'm not going to spoil it, the whole premise of this story is you are a resistance fighter. You play the role of and he's a very important member of the resistance. He's actually scheduled for termination by Skynet because they realise that he's an important part in the destruction of Skynet. Now, the whole idea is that if you remember in Terminator 1, the Skynet sent back Arnie, the Terminator, to kill John Connor's mother. So John Connor would never be born, as he was the guy who eventually brings down Skynet. Now, Skynet are just working on that plan during this game, and they're wanting to send Arnie back, if you like. And your job is to try and stop Skynet from sending Terminators back. That's the whole plot in this. So they don't really understand about the time machine, the timey-wimey, wibbly-wobblies and all that. They don't get it. They're just kind of, as you're going through this, suddenly realise that this is the plot and you've got to try and stop it. You do that with a series of quests, and the game plays around about 10 hours, I reckon. It took me a little bit longer because I was just sitting there for ages listening to the music and just getting so immersed that I was just dragging my feet around this game, just I was pretending I was in the Resistance and it was real and I wasn't playing a game. Hey, I like to do that. Don't judge me. Character-wise, well, the voice acting's pitiful at times, and so is the lip-syncing, and yeah, some of the characters are just nauseously bad. Some of them are just great, though. There's a woman who's leading the pocket of resistance that I'm actually in my whole... No, I'll not tell you anything about that, but I'm with these new resistance people, and they're run by this woman, and she is super hard-ass. And she's a strong woman, but not like what women are portrayed today. You know, if you think of a strong woman today, they have to look like a... You know, she's not like that. This is a very feminine woman with feelings, but she's a right frickin' hard ass, and I loved her straight away.
Where are the others? Where's my husband? They're dead.
It's a good job I loved her straight away because you get to shag her if you play your cards right. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink, say no more. There's also another woman in this, I'm forgetting her name, Stephanie, I think. I actually slept with her as well. I'm a right fucking stud in this game, me like. But what I really like about this game is that it's really good fun to play if you like Terminator movies. And it's obvious when you're playing this that the developers are huge Terminator fans. All the weapons are straight out of the movie. They're all straight out. They're the weapons that you'd love to see. That, you know that clip where Arnie walks into the shop and he's like, plasma rifle in 40 watt range. Well, you get that gun and it's like, oh, there's that gun, Uzi 9mm. Oh, I got that gun. You get all them guns, as you would expect that you would get all them guns. And when you fire them, like I said, the noise is straight out of the movies. It's just awesome. And so you get a load of quests, fetch quests in a linear world. It's not open world, but sometimes linear branches off in a few different directions and you can choose which one you want to do first. And there's a shit ton of side quests that can be a little bit out your way, but a lot of them are well worth doing because you get nice loot. And it's all about the loot in this game. There's loot everywhere. I searched everywhere, looted everything, and I had a shit ton of money, shit ton of ammo, shit ton of weapons. And once I'd maxed out my bag space, I got to carry a ton of weapons. There's a weapon wheel for the console people, but you can bind 4 of them to mouse or keyboard commands, which is great. You've got your basic ballistic ones like your M16, your Uzi and a pistol, and they will not work on the T-800 Terminators. That's the exoskeleton ones. They just won't work on them, which makes it great. The first time I came across them, I had to run. I was opening up with my M16, did nothing, and the Terminator just kept coming with that music going, and I was like, fucking hell, run! You know, it's just great, the atmosphere of this game. And I was just hiding around, running, and you can see there's like a bar at the top of the screen which tells them whether they've noticed you or not. When that goes red, they come for you, as do any ones that are very close to that one. They'll come for you as well. But you can easily lose them if you manage to run far enough into a few nooks and crannies or hide in some little tunnels that you find now and then. But it's all tense stuff. But then you start getting your first plasma rifles, and that's when it all changes. That's when you can start taking down the T-800s. And the great thing about this game is you can mod your weapons, the plasma weapons. You put little chips in, and as long as the patterns on the chips match each other, you can put 3 chips in a row, and that'll give you extended clip, handling, damage, and stuff like that. Now, later on in the game, you get your 2nd generation plasma rifle, which fires violet plasma rounds. Guys, it's too overpowered. It's too overpowered, especially when you mod it. And I found that, and I got a sniper rifle, and I was taking out T-800s with 1 shot to the head. That's when the game got bad for me, and I started losing a bit of interest in the final couple of hours because I didn't feel like I was in a Terminator game anymore. A Terminator game for me, you should be shitting yourself. I mean, if you saw how long it took them to kill Arnie in the first Terminator movie, that's what you want. I think there should have been less T-800s in the game, and they should have been way harder to kill. I upped the difficulty, which I think you really need to when you're playing this game. Easy and normal are just, well, ridiculously easy. You need to be on a minimum of hard playing this game, and that kind of fixes some of the problems, but it doesn't fix the one-shotting on the heads. But hey, I still really enjoyed the game. There's a whole load of different Terminators that you fight as well. There's the hunter-killers as well, the big things. There's little flying ones, there's spider ones, there's mines, there's all sorts. Now, what did piss me off straight away was you get X-ray vision from the get-go. These glasses that you put on, and you just simply press a key and you can see everything moving through the walls. Now, bearing in mind that there's quite a bit of stealth in this game, you don't have to do a stealth approach. You do on one of the early ones because you don't have the plasma rifle and you're stealthing away from T-800s, which means if they see you, you can't kill them, they can kill you. So on that one, you're forced into stealth. But with these glasses, it made stealth so easy, and I actually stopped using them, and I found it way better, way harder but way, way better. Because I was coming around the corner and I literally was bumping into T-800s and shitting myself. And even though I did the Mick Jagger lips as I fired my gun, sometimes they were just so damn close to me that I got killed. Because these can take you down in seconds. But it meant that I was actually playing in a Terminator game then. There's loads of looting in this. There's quite a bit of crafting that you can do. There's crafting benches around. You save your game via these little safe houses that you find during levels, and it's really good trying to get to them, and it's a nice feeling knowing that you've just saved your game when the shit's hitting the fan. It can be hard, can be brutal, but above all it takes you back to the really good Terminator movies, and if you're a huge Terminator fan like me, you will probably love this game. I mean, I'm so much of a Terminator fan I won't watch the latest movie. I refuse to watch it because I don't even class that as a fucking Terminator movie. It's bollocks. So there you go, guys. Terminator Resistance will not win Game of the Year. It has got a few problems, and if it wasn't about Terminators and all that, it would probably not be worth a buy, but I'm a huge Terminator fan. I got immersed in this like nothing else. I absolutely loved the gunplay, loved the machines, loved the story, loved the levels. Didn't like half of the characters, but my goodness, I enjoyed my time playing this game. And so I'm thumbing it up. It's worth a buy.